So 2 years in investment banking, let's talk about my experience. In this video, I'm going to outline my journey into investment banking, the good about investment banking, the bad about investment banking, and what tips or what advice can I give you if you're currently working in banking or you want to. So like I said in previous videos, my journey into banking wasn't straightforward and I never expected it to be.
You don't say. You don't say.
I started off studying finance on my undergraduate degree. I then did a placement year at a small bank. I then did a master's, intern at a small Canadian bank, worked at an equity research firm, and then got a job at a big investment bank. So more or less I had to do different jobs. So I actually got that main job. 2 years in, and so far there've definitely been some positives. A lot of time when people are interviewing for investment banks, one of the main reasons they give why they want to work in banking is the opportunity to actually network with different people. And I'll say after 2 years, this is definitely one of the good parts about investment banking. I'm talking about every single division, the ability to actually meet different people that are also like-minded, but also people that are willing to challenge your point of view on various topics, not just on marginal options, not just on finance, banking, nerdy stuff, but also on life in general. Being able to have civil debates with people working in banking or with co-workers, I think is a testament to how good the banking environment is. And it's that way because people know that when they're having a one-on-one discussion with you or even an argument or a debate, it's never personal. It's just us trying to get to the bottom of why we believe what we believe and why you stand on this side of a topic. And that's one reason I really like about banking. Also, just in terms of networking, you don't realize that your coworkers now, your managers now, are people that could do great things in the future, which is why you want to make sure you actually treat everyone with respect, because you never know what the opportunities might hold. You might decide to leave banking, actually start your own company, but because you have those connections in banking and other firms, you are able to try and incentivize people to actually join your own firm. And this happens so frequently. We see on the news all the time, ex-CT trader set up his own hedge fund with a friend from Bank of America. Ex-JP Morgan hedge fund manager sets up his own hedge funds. Like, this always happens, and it's because people are able to network with different people and make very good connections. Now, the main reason why most of you want to work in banking, let's be honest, is because of the pay. Based on the latest figures by eFinancial Careers, we can see quite clearly that if you work for a top investment bank, you're paid way above average. And that's just your base salary, not including your bonus. The average salary for someone in investment banking, based on the figures from eFinancial Careers, is £60,000 as a base, and your bonus is more or less around £25,000. So the total take home your first year after university can be less than £85,000, which honestly is crazy when you think about it, because
here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
if you watch this guy on TikTok that talks about salary transparency, when he interviews different people, I've seen him interview people that have 20 years experience, 15 years experience, even 30 years experience, and they're not yet on £80,000. So it just goes to show that in your first year working in banking, you can earn such a big amount of money. And the main thing with this is make sure you don't actually squander that money, because it's very easy to get your first bonus, and guess what? You come down the stairs, your escalator, you go into Jubilee Mall, and you look at that Rolex store, and you're like, you know what? I just got paid maybe 20K. I'm gonna spend 10K on a Rolex, and
Sid, loosen up. Be very fluid.
it really doesn't make sense. So just make sure you don't squander the money, because it's very easy. It's so tempting, and honestly, I get it. Now, the next perk of actually working in banking, or the good thing so far, is the perceived social status. Like, I don't have to say a single word to someone if I'm in a social setting, apart from, hey, I'm a banker or I work in investment banking. That alone puts you in such a positive light, because people know for sure to work in investment banking or to be a banker, you have to be somewhat intelligent.
The hell do we know about banking?
Banks take deposits and make loans.
Somewhat. You have to be somewhat disciplined and consistent, because to work those long hours, you definitely need a lot of discipline and coffee for sure.
Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
The perceived social status about us working in banking definitely goes a long way, and it's more of an ego boost. And there's nothing wrong with an ego boost. You worked hard to get that job. It wasn't given to you. You put in a lot of hours at university, studying for interviews, doing all those annoying online assessments. So you know what? If you get to a social status and you're quite proud about who you are and quite confident, there's nothing wrong with it. And I would say it's a big perk about banking. It's just, even me thinking about it, I could definitely say my ego is definitely boosted since I started working in banking. If you're enjoying the video so far, please drop a like and leave a comment. It goes a long way. Now let's talk about the bad, the long hours. You're going to see this on every single article ever posted about investment banking.
And Bank Jeffries' Rich Handler fired off an email yesterday to show his appreciation for junior bankers working long hours.
Working conditions survey that they shared with their managers, and then it went viral on social media. According to the 13 respondents in the survey, Goldman Junior bankers work an average of 100 plus hours per week.
People work long hours, people are stressed out, and the truth is, you always have options in life. You can get paid way above average, and then of course you'll be required to work longer hours. Or you can get paid average and work a 9 to 5 and actually go on 5 p.m. But I can also tell you that based on my conversations with my friends working normal 9 to 5s, they also work quite late. They work to 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. If you're working in audit, tax, in the big four, when it's busy season, you work to 1 a.m. as well. So to me, the hours part was never a concern for me, maybe because I'm an NPC and I have no life, like a lot of people see on my TikTok comment section. Before I got this job, I just assumed that I was going to have to work long hours if I accepted the contract, and I was quite happy with that sacrifice. Because honestly, most people complain about the hours, but more times than not, if they were given those extra 3 hours, they'll just spend them watching Netflix or playing FIFA, and there's nothing wrong with that, but for me, it's not on my priority right now. Right now, I have no reason not to try and maximize my time working, because I know, like I said before, your pay is your base salary and your bonus. I'm not saying longer hours work equals a bigger bonus, but I'm saying all things being equal, being able to get more work accurately completed before the deadline will definitely increase your visibility, and that will definitely in turn increase your bonus. So it's something to think about if you want to get into banking. I'm telling you right now, you want to get into banking, you're going to work long-ish hours. So make that decision based on yourself. And that bad, I would say, it's a very intense work environment.
The issue of work-life balance is being brought up by first-year employees at Goldman Sachs, a small...
But it's definitely not hostile. The difference is, if it's hostile, it means you kind of open up to people to tell them, hey, I'm really struggling here. And also there's an expectation where no matter how you feel, you're expected to get the work done, which is definitely not the case. And maybe banks were like that, I don't know, 20 years ago. Right now, there's definitely an emphasis on employee well-being. So if you're struggling in banking, you can speak to your manager most of the time, and they'll be willing to actually accommodate you. But at the end of the day, you're working in banking. It's quite an intense job environment. You're expected to deliver deadlines when deadlines are due. Now, the last bad I'll talk about is the opportunity cost. And this is with everything you do in life. The opportunity cost for me working in banking means I'm working longer hours. So it means I have less time to do my side hustle. It means I have less time to make YouTube content. I'm making the conscious decision to continue to work in banking because I can enjoy the finance work. And I do know for some people, the trade-off isn't worth it. Some people actually believe, and I think this is quite a fair critique of banking, some people would argue that they'd rather work in 9 to 5, let's say for example, a firm, let's say EY paying £38,000, and then try and create different side hustles that extra time, actually try and increase their income to more than a banker's income. And you actually make that argument and actually hear it. But I decided to go on this path because I think why not do both? Why not suffer working long hours, but also find the time to make content like I'm doing now? This is literally me recording this at 10 p.m. before I sleep. So find the time to make content. I also have a high paying day job, because a lot of people try to say 9 to 5 are not worth it. Everyone goes straight to become a content creator. But why don't try and diversify your income pool? Why not have a 9 to 5 working in investment banking and also have your side hustles coming from YouTube and other sort of advertising? Because that way, that's literally the definition of diversification. An income from a finance company, an income from Google, a tech company, and from other sorts of advertisers. Literally diversification. And to me, that's the best way to do it. Hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.